In a small American town where Friday night football reigns supreme, 16-year-old Kaylee Harper steps onto the cheerleading field with a smile that hides a deadly secret. Bullied relentlessly for her quiet ways and scrawny frame, nobody knows. Her dad, a retired Special Forces legend, trained her to fight like a soldier. Tonight, when the bullies push too far, Kaylee's about to unleash a storm that'll leave the whole town speechless. Buckle up, this cheerleader's got moves that don't just steal the show, they shatter bones. If you're gripped, smash that subscribe button for more heart-pounding stories of grit and triumph. Let's dive into Kaylee's epic saga. Kaylee. Harper stood at the edge of the football field, her cheerleading skirt swaying in the crisp October breeze. The stadium lights of Willow Creek High blazed overhead, casting stark shadows across the packed bleachers. In Willow Creek, Ohio, a town of 8,000, where football was a religion. Tonight's homecoming game against the Jefferson Jaguars had the crowd buzzing with anticipation. Kaylee, a junior with freckles dusting her cheeks, clutched her red and white pom-poms, her hazel eyes scanning the stands. She wasn't looking for friends, she had few. She was watching for them. The ones who turned her school days into a gauntlet of cruelty. Chloe Bennett and her posse of senior cheerleaders Madison. Tara and Brooke lounged on the sidelines, their laughter sharp and cutting. They were the untouchable queens of Willow Creek High, their glossy curls and perfect smiles a shield of privilege. To them, Kaylee was a ghost. Too skinny, too quiet, too awkward. The girl who stumbled during cheer tryouts, but somehow made the squad because Coach Linda saw a flicker of potential. Chloe never let her forget it. "Hey, toothpick," Chloe sneered, tossing her blonde ponytail. "Don't trip during halftime and make us look bad again," the others snickered, their eyes glinting with malice. Kaylee's cheeks burned, but she said nothing, her grip on the pom-poms tightening until her knuckles WH'd in. At home, Kaylee was a different person. Her dad, Marcus Harper, was a man of steel and silence, a retired Green Beret who'd seen things he never spoke of. Since she was 10, he'd trained her in their backyard. Not just in self-defense, but in combat moves honed in covert missions across deserts and jungles. "You don't fight to hurt," he'd say, his voice steady as they sparred under the oak. "Tree, you fight to end it." Kaylee had spent years mastering strikes, grapples, and counters, her slight frame hiding a strength that surprised even her. Marcus wasn't raising a victim. He was forging a warrior, one who could hold her own against any threat. At school, though, Kaylee buried that fire deep. She wanted to blend in, to survive the gauntlet of high school and escape Willow Creek's small-town grip. The bullying began freshman year's night remarks about her thrift store clothes, her freckles, her dad's rusted pickup truck. Chloe, the ringleader, made it personal. Last year, she spread a rumor that Kaylee's mom, who left when Kaylee was 5, fled because she was ashamed of her daughter. The lie was a knife to the heart, but Kaylee swallowed the pain. She always did, keeping her head down, her voice silent. Tonight, though, something felt different. The air crackled with energy, the crowd louder than usual. Willow Creek was down 14-7 at halftime, and the cheer squad was about to perform. Kaylee took her place in the formation, her heart thumping like a war drum. Chloe, front and center, led the routine with polished precision, her every move a challenge. Kaylee matched her, step for step, her body moving on instinct after weeks of grueling practice. She'd memorized every count, determined not to give Chloe another reason to mock her. But as the music peaked and the squad hit their final pose, Chloe slammed into Kaylee hard. Kaylee stumbled, nearly falling, and the crowd gasped. Chloe smirked, whispering, "Oops, clumsy much." Asterisk. The humiliation seared like a brand, but Kaylee kept her head down as they left the field. In the locker room, Chloe didn't let up. "God, Kaylee, you're a walking disaster," she said, her voice loud enough for the whole team to hear. "Just quit. Nobody wants you here." Madison and Tara piled on, their laughter echoing off the metal lockers like gunfire. Kaylee's hands shook as she packed her bag, but she stayed silent. She always stayed silent. Outside, the game roared on. But Kaylee slipped away from the sidelines. She needed air, needed to escape the weight of their words. She headed to the parking lot, where an old oak tree near the school's entrance offered a quiet refuge. The gravel crunched under her sneakers. The night air cooled against her flushed skin. Then she heard footsteps. Chloe and her crew had followed her, their silhouettes sharp under the streetlights. "Running away, toothpick," Chloe taunted, arms crossed. "Gonna cry to Daddy?" Madison stepped closer, shoving Kaylee's shoulder. "You don't belong here," she spat. Tara grabbed Kaylee's bag, dumping its contents onto the gravel notebooks, pens, a water bottle scattering in the dirt. Brooke kicked the bottle, sending it skidding. Kaylee's pulse surged, her breath quickening. Something snapped inside her, a spark igniting years of bottled-up rage. Her dad's voice echoed in her mind. "You don't start fights, Kaylee, but when they come, you finish them." She stood taller, her voice low but steady. "Back off, Chloe." The words shocked even her, slicing through the night air. Chloe laughed, stepping into Kaylee's space, her breath hot. Or what, freak? Madison shoved again, harder, her hands rough. That was the trigger. Kaylee's training surged like a reflex, her body moving before her mind caught up. She sidestepped Madison's next push, grabbed her wrist, and twisted it just enough to make her yelp. Madison stumbled, her eyes wide with shock. Chloe lunged, swinging a sloppy punch, but Kaylee ducked, her movements fluid and precise. Caught Chloe's arm, yanked her forward, and swept her legs out from under her. Chloe hit the gravel with a thud, gasping for air. Tara and Brooke froze, their bravado evaporating. "Stay down," Kaylee said, her voice calm but unyielding. Red-faced and furious, scrambled to her feet and charged again. Kaylee didn't hesitate. She blocked Chloe's wild swing, drove her palm into Chloe's sternum, and sent her sprawling back into the dirt. The move was clean, surgical, straight from Marcus's playbook. The other girls backed away, their eyes darting nervously. Kaylee stood over Chloe, her breath steady. I said, "Stay down." By Monday, the school was a